Hey everybody, Brandon Putsky again, broadcasting from my home office in Vero Beach, Florida. Welcome back everybody. This is going to be video number 2 with single strokes. Video number 1 you can find on Treasure Coast Percussion YouTube page. Video number 2 is going to be an assignment for the students who are working at home and submitting these assignments to their band directors. It is going to be public on the YouTube page, so anybody can use it. The information's all there. You're just going to adapt it to your ability. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So single strokes, arguably the most important rudiment of the 40. That's why it's probably number 1 on the list. Today we're going to be doing single strokes with accents. So for those of you who are current students working at home and submitting your exercises to your band directors, you're going to need this page, which most of you have. If you don't have it, feel free to email me, I'll send it to you, but it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Once you hear it a couple times, you won't need it at all. So on this page is single stroke number 3 and 4. Those are the 2 we're going to be working with today. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to demonstrate single stroke number 3. And single stroke number 3, once again on the page, is accented eighth notes. From there, I'm going to go right into single stroke number 4, which is accented 16th notes. A lot of my younger students, when I show them that page, I'll ask them, look at this page and what's the difference between the 2? And most of them will recognize that the notes are different. Some will even say one's 8th notes, one's 16th notes, but almost always the younger students will say, this one's faster, single stroke number 4 is faster with the 16th notes. And of course we all know that that's not true, but we automatically assume when we see 16th notes that they're going to be faster notes. Of course, that all depends on the tempo that you're taking and what the tempo of the metronome is, for instance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down single stroke number 3 one time to demonstrate. I'm going to go right into single stroke number 4 using the same metronome marking, which is quarter note equals 50. You'll hear that the technique is the same, the accents are the same, the tempo is the same, nothing's faster, nothing's slower. It all depends on what syllables I'm going to use to count those notes. So first demonstration only, just sit back and watch. You can follow along in the music if you want. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a E and a 4 E and a 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E, a 1. All right, so you can see that, again, no difference. If you took away my counting, it would sound like I was playing the same one over and over again. So as soon as I start to count, that's going to determine what your note value is, whether it's an 8th note or 16th note. The technique, though, that is the most important thing. So this is what you need to learn from this exercise. Again, this is public knowledge, nothing new, nothing mind-blowing, nothing out of the box. This exercise focuses on a control stroke and an upstroke. Control, up, control, up. And to know that, you just separate your hands. Okay, so that is the technique involved, being able to control the stick, trapping the stick with your back fingers right after it strikes the drum. And then that upstroke, which starts very, very low. That's the key there, is keeping that controlled stroke low. And the upstroke starts from way down low, not somewhere in the middle or up high, but right there. So based on your age, ability, your level that you're at right now, set your metronome accordingly. Work on it very, very slowly so that you can really get the down or the controlled stroke and the upstroke perfectly mastered. Again, that's the reason why single stroke number 1 is first on the list. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the exercise at a few different tempos. You can play along. I'm going to kind of do this right in the middle of the road for a sort of an intermediate, maybe middle school student. Again, if you can't take it this fast, stop the video, back off your metronome, which you work with every time that you practice, and start a little bit slower. Really focus on the technique, focus on the controlled stroke and the upstroke for each of those accents. Another little disclaimer too, that this is written with a right hand lead system, starting with the right hand and alternating every note after. Feel free to flip that, make it a left hand lead. Even if you're right-handed, make it left hand lead. I encourage you to practice that both ways. Even though both hands are playing and the technique is the same for both sides, start it with the left every once in a while, if not all the time. And it will really give you a different perspective and feeling of that downbeat on the left hand, or your weaker hand in my case. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna do this now at 60 BPM. Just gonna bump it up 10 notches. If you need to bump it up 3 or 4 or 5. Again, this is your own pace and your own level and ability. So this is single stroke number 4. I'm going to use 16th notes in this case at 60 BPM. 1, 2, 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E and a E and a E and a E and 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E a 1 E 2 E 3 E 4 E and a E and a E and E and a E and a 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E a 1. All right, now I think it's also really important to know where the accent falls in relationship to the beep of the metronome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this. Actually, I'm going to say this with the metronome. I'm not going to play it at all, but I'm only going to say the syllables that the accents are on. And I want you to really listen to the relationship of where the accent is in relationship to the counts. And I'm going to use beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep E, beep E, beep E, beep E, beep, and beep, and beep, and beep, and beep. A beep, a beep, a beep, a beep. I'm going to bump this up to 70 now. Single stroke number 4. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E and a 2 E and a E and a E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 a 1. All right, from there, bump up the metronome, keep it going. If you're more advanced, obviously this is at 70, go 80, 90, 100, just keep it going. The other thing that I think is a great idea, especially if you're going to be working at home for a while or any time in your practicing, make a chart. Here is your rudiment log, just an example of something that I made a long time ago. I give it to my students. They just write in what the metronome is, the date, and what rudiment that you're doing. Get out a notebook, get a journal, just keep track of it. It's a good way to know that, for one, you just look back and say, you know what, I haven't practiced my flams in like 3 weeks. And again, if you need anything at all, feel free to contact me at Treasure Coast Percussion, and there is my name, number, email address, and website. I'll be happy to send you some information. Check it out at www.tcpercussion.com, and we'll see you again next time.